Hey everybody, and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health, fitness, mindset, body from where you are right now to being unstoppable. And today I want to ask you a question about whether you are focusing on the right things. Because we often go through our journey in various aspects of our life focusing on a particular thing or a particular couple of things, hoping to get or thinking we're working towards getting the outcome that we want. But what if you were doing that and you had an expert look at what it is that you were doing and tell you that you're focusing on the wrong things? Or maybe you're not focused enough, but if you are, you think you're focused, but you're actually focusing on the wrong things. And I want to use this today in the context of a coaching client that I'm working with right now, the results that she's getting and what she's experiencing and where the solution is to get her to a completely different place. So this is somebody that I've been working with for a little bit of time now. She was a client about 5-6 years ago now, got some really good results, moved away, and now with Zooming and all that kind of stuff that we've got, she's come back as a client. And during COVID and some issues that she was going on, like just life, letting life happen to her, she put on about 20 or so kilos and not in a great place mindset-wise and everything. I wanted to change. So she's been doing really well. So she's lost about 18 kilos or something now, and she's been focusing on the scales every week. She goes to a doctor, she gets weighed and measured and everything, and she's focusing on that number. Now, over the past few weeks, we've been working on the mindset, and she's in a much better place now. Like, she's doing so well, and it's only now that we're starting to work with her food more. So I said to her, look, the biggest issue you've got right now is with your mindset and making sure that you can really set yourself up for success for the long term. So I said, I don't want you to think about just getting to this particular number on the scales and then saying, okay, well that's it. Because she was about 5 kilos away from where she said she wanted to get to. But I just knew that there was more in her. And she said, well, actually, I would like to achieve probably another 20 kilos of weight loss. And I said, so why'd you say only 5? And it was only through the ensuing weeks that we were able to pull apart what was going on in her head. And now she's so super focused and driven on achieving that next level, because 5 kilos was making her immobilized, because 5 kilos is so close for her that whether she achieved it or not, it really wasn't going to make a difference. So now she's super focused. We covered that off last week. She's got a good document that she sticks up on her wall that has got some images, it's got some powerful words as to what she wants and why it connects so powerfully with her. It's really got, she did a beautiful job with it. She's been doing so well in becoming more focused. I'm focusing on, the mindset side of it. But she's also, the last couple of weeks, not been getting the best outcome on the scales. And I said to her, okay, it's now time for you to start tracking your food and start sending it through to me. And so she sent it through to me and she said, oh my God, you're going to be really disappointed in me. And I had a look through it. And it's pretty atrocious in terms of what it is that she's eating from a nutritional perspective. But here's the thing. She's still focused on the scales. Now, she's gone down. Today's a weigh-in day for her. She's gone down by about 200 grams this week. So in some ways, she'll be pleased with that, but in other ways, she won't be. Now, the way that she has been looking at it is, if I just exercise as much as possible and keep focusing on that number coming down and just being a bit better in terms of alcohol and some things like that, then the numbers will keep coming down. Now, for a lot of people, that can be true depending on the base that you're coming from, and you'll get some good results. But there's going to come a point where whatever's taking you to get to one point isn't going to get you the whole way. Okay? So that might give you the first 5, 10, 15 plus kilos, but it's not going to take you the other 5, 10, 15, 20 kilos that you need to go. So this is where you need to start to be more precise with what it is that you're eating. Now, because she's been focusing on those things, just the scales and her activity levels, she feels like she should just be continuing to come down. And even though she is still coming down a bit, what we're not creating is a really healthy environment for her to be able to do it. So we're not putting in the right nutrients, she's over-exercising, under-eating, and at some point her body's going to say, no, I'm not going to move from here because you're not giving me enough food and you're over-exercising, so I need to shut things down, shut your metabolism down so that I can keep you alive. And that's what's happening to her now. But she doesn't realise that yet. So we've actually got a coaching session today and I'm going to go through this with her. But here's the issue. If you're focusing on the wrong things, like the scales and exercising, etc., then you are going to get to the point where you don't understand why you're not getting the outcome. Because I was getting it before, how come it's not working now? I might as well just give up, because how many weeks are going to go by where you achieve a little bit of weight loss, or it's just the same, and then if you're a lady, depending on how old you are, you go through your monthly cycle, you're going to retain about 1 kilo of fluid, it goes up, and on that particular day, you jump on the scales and it's like, oh, what the hell? I'm going to just give up. I'm exercising so much, I'm doing this, but you're not getting the outcome that you want. In fact, you feel like you're going backwards, so you figure, well, I might as well just go back and do what I was doing before because clearly this isn't working. Now, what isn't well, let me just stop there. I'm sure you can relate to that. Or whether it's yourself or somebody in your life that's gone through that journey or is going through that journey themselves. They just don't understand it. It's because they're focusing on the wrong thing. Now, if I had a glance through her nutrition journal that she sent through to me today, and it's very, very clear to me why she is where she is and why she is achieving the result that she's achieving. So I'm going to have the discussion with her around she's got to wind back the exercise and put her mind in a different place. Take some time away from the exercise, use that time to do the meal preparation. And yeah, I get that everybody's got a busy life. I've got an extremely busy life. Like today, I've got every 30 minutes planned out, every 15 minutes really, planned out from 5:30 a.m. through to 8 p.m. tonight, every 15 minutes. Now, I have put in there some rest time as well, but everything is back to back, like recording this. I've got another 8 minutes or something to record this before I need to finish it, upload it, move on to my next task. So we've all got busy days, busy lives. I've got kids. I've got to work them into everything as well. So we've all got those things. But if you just take some of the time that you've got and reprioritize it into the things that you know are going to really work for you, like preparing the meals. And because I get, if you're busy and you're taking kids to sporting events and it's on the weekend and you're taking one kid here and one kid there and you're rushing, what are you going to do? Well, I guarantee you that if you live like where I do and you're travelling from one sporting thing to another, guess what's in the pathway of that? Well, it's the fast food outlets, isn't it? And you can't have time to get out of the car, so you go through the drive-through and you get something like that. And then that's not serving you. But what you could have done is the night before, maybe go to bed 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, prepare the snacks, the meals, whatever, for the next day before you go to bed. The thing is that people aren't doing that. And instead, what they're focusing on is, what she's focusing on right now is, okay, while I drop the kids off to their sporting things, I will exercise while I'm watching them. Like if it's walking around an oval, if they're playing a sport on an oval or something, I'll go do my walking. So what's she doing? She's thinking, I'm not eating, but if I exercise, then that's going to be just as good for me. But it doesn't work that way because your body is being starved of nutrients. So she's not focusing on the nutrient intake. She's not focusing on the frequency that she's eating. And therefore, because she's focusing on moving more and just weighing herself, that's a recipe for disaster at some point. And that's why she's not feeling great about the last couple of weeks. She's a bit angry about it. So my job as a coach is to get people to refocus on the right things, connect with them and understand. This is what's great about a coach, because a coach can say to you, well, you can read about, this is what you should do, but the coach can really explain to you, this is why you need to do it this way, and this is why you're getting the outcome that you're getting. But you can't have a conversation with a book or a podcast or something like that. But the coach can tell you exactly why you need to do it, and this is why you're getting the outcome. Now, even I'm learning every day. I mean, my coach asks me to do things, and I say, so what is that for? Is that for this? And he'll say, yes, exactly, that's what it's for. Or telling me why this is the case. I remember at the start of the year when I was having a call with my coach and setting myself up for this year and talking about my goals and everything, I said, so tell me about the protein, because I've normally been getting in, like for years, 30 grams per meal. We took it up to 40 grams, and then we took it up to 50 grams for a number of months as well. I said, so tell me about that. What's the thinking behind it? And he said, look, it's like this. He said when he did his research and his studies all those years ago, he said he's working with a great scientist and doctor, and he said from all the testing that they did, he said if somebody starts to plateau in their weight training and the strength gaining and all that kind of stuff, he said the one thing that is true, that always works, is just increase the protein. So he said that's why we do it, and we try and find that right level where you're still growing, you're still achieving, you're still being able to do those things. So you're always learning, and the coach can explain in detail as to why it is that you do things. And that's what I'll be doing for her today. So focus is so important, focusing on the right things. So obviously I'm here talking about health, fitness, body, weight loss and so forth, but have a think about this in other aspects of your life as well. Maybe it's something in relationships, whether it be intimate relationships or whether it be business relationships. Maybe your focus is in the wrong place. If things aren't necessarily going the right way, are you focusing too much about what's in it for you as opposed to what do you bring to the table? And I think this is where most people get relationships wrong, because the immediate first response is, what's in this for me? For instance, if it was an intimate relationship, this is the easiest one to relate to. If you think about somebody that you see on the street and you're attracted to them, immediately you're thinking, well, that's all about you. That's all about what you want. But you're not necessarily thinking about, so what do you bring to that person? Are you going to be a good match for that person? Yes, you might think, wow, look how sexy that person is. Geez, wow, it'll be nice to be with them, spend time with them, to be seen with them because of what that means for you. But do you bring something to them, something that's meaningful to them? And then think about business relationships, same thing. There's probably not a person alive that wouldn't want to do business with Richard Branson. But how many offers a day do you think Richard Branson gets, or proposals that come across his desk? And he probably doesn't look at really many of them at all. So the question for him is, well, what do they bring to my brand? Because he's very successful. So if you wanted to be in business with Richard Branson, what do you bring to him? Why would he even want to have a conversation with you? Because he can get pretty much whatever it is that he wants. So how do you bring something to that? And so then dial it back to just another type of relationship. Again, people think, I want to do business with that celebrity. I want to interview that celebrity. I want to do X, Y, Z. But you are not thinking about, so what do you bring to it? What do you bring to a local business that you want to do business with? What do you bring to that table? When it comes to your business, you're focusing on building more sales, building more sales, building more sales. But are you focusing on the right thing? So something that I've been doing some work on for the past few months now. I bought 4 books in the area of customer service, and they're really great, looking at places like Disney, looking at the Ritz-Carlton, looking at Mercedes-Benz, and the other one is UCLA, and looking at the customer service experience that they're bringing to people. So let me plant this seed for you. Rather than focusing on just getting more sales and getting more leads, maybe if you shifted that to focus on the customer experience, maybe the sales will then come. Maybe if you put that energy into how do we create that bigger wow experience for clients, how do we get more reviews and better reviews on Google, how do we do that and focus the energy on that, then you watch how the sales just come. So if I use in closing, just give you an example in that space, for me, I work with clients all over the place, and just the nature of people moving on in life and different chapters, they move away from the local area. So when I first started, the internet wasn't huge for business and leads and so forth. It was coming more in that space. I was talking like 13 years ago, and all of my clients needed to be local because the concept, I don't even know whether Zoom existed then, Skype did, but the concept of me working with people on the other side of the world at that time was not in my headspace of doing it. And look where we are now. And so all my clients were local. So what happens over time is people move away. They move suburbs, they move interstate, they move overseas. And what I'm noticing now is that people are coming back like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years later. They're getting back in touch with me. Now, why are they doing that? Now, I was doing a workout this morning at my local gym here, and I got a text message from one of my clients that hasn't been for a while in terms of boot camp because of her work and so forth. Now, she could easily just say, no, look, I just can't do it anymore. But she said, look, I can't do those group classes anymore, but can you tell me what your personal training type times and pricing is like for me and my partner? Now, that only comes because she knows I deliver a great experience through the group classes and through sessions that we do here in the studio as a group as well. And I've got clients that have come back to me, like I said, 7, 8, 10 years later. I've got a client I'm thinking of, looking at his picture on the wall, actually his transformation picture, 10 years it was, and he came back to me because he was in a bad place in his life. He was living somewhere else, and he just rang me and he said, look, can you just call and check in on me? This is what I need. And he said, I probably don't need it for a long period of time, but like a month or so, and that'll really help get me through a spot. And so that's what we did, and it really helped him out. Now, why did he come back to me? Because he remembered that he was in a really low place in his life. I helped him get the body transformation, helped rebuild his confidence in his body and in his self-image and self-esteem. He got the job of his dreams, and he's just progressed from there. Because he did that last time with me, he knew that, look, I'm a trusted person. How does that follow through? Well, follow through. Have a look at my social media. Every single post that I do, it's professional. I've done a post in the last couple of days. It's still going off every day where I posted about the vaccine or not. So go to my Rob Evans Facebook page. It's on my other ones as well, but go to that one and jump in and comment. Put in your perspective. I've got people that are anti-vaxxers on there that have made comments. I've got some people that could get quite heated or have got a little bit heated in their responses. And then, people are jumping in on other people's replies as well. Now, a bunch of these people are clients of mine. So I don't jump in there and get all aggressive and do that. And some people would. Some people say, oh, you're effing this and effing that. And it's like, it's just not me. Everything's professional. And one of my old clients, and she had a look at the responses just over the last week, and she sent me a text message. She said, oh my God, I have no idea how you respond so calmly to these, these things that people are posting when, you can say they're questionable. They don't necessarily agree with me, but what I appreciate And what I put in the comments is I appreciate different people's perspectives. Like it's their reality. And just because I have a view that may be different to them, that doesn't make me necessarily right. Even though most people might agree with me rather than someone else, it doesn't make me right and them necessarily wrong. It just means that we've got a difference of opinion. And time will tell, history will tell how this all plays out. But it's all professional, okay? Everything I post is consistent. It's like it's educational, it's inspirational, it's a little bit of personal stuff thrown in there from time to time, but it's at a professional level because that's how I conduct myself. So, in closing this, make sure that you're focusing on the right things. If it's a body transformation, are you focusing on the right aspects? If it's your relationships, any relationships, are you focusing on what you bring to the table? If it's your increasing your profitability, your sales, your turnover, are you focusing on the customer experience or are you just focusing on getting more widgets out there, getting more clients in? Maybe if you just take a slight twist, step back and say, well, yeah, actually, that's pretty true. I am just focusing on the numbers, but maybe if I focused on how do I just create more of an awesome customer experience, that could provide a difference. So we might do a different podcast on that in the coming days about how do we improve the customer experience, because I'm really passionate about that as well, and I'm reading it at the moment, a number of different books. So if you want a hand in any of these aspects, you want to just have a conversation, go to the mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, opt in for a free consultation, let's connect, have a free consultation. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, we can connect, you just need an internet connection. And I'd love to start that conversation. Stay safe wherever you are. I'll see you tomorrow.